across parts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It's the worst ever October rainfall. Worst hit is Telangana's capital, Hyderabad, which is facing a virtual deluge. Uma Sudhir joins me live. Uma, I don't know when you've last actually ever seen rain like this.
Yes, indeed. In the year 2000, I must say, 2000 when in fact the Hussain Sagar Lake was flooded and became full. But no, I have not seen anything like this. And the kind of visuals that have gone viral today, including the visuals that we have been showing on our channel since the morning, these are nightmarish visuals, and no one would imagine that just one day of rain, you can call it historic, you can call it unprecedented, one day of rain brought the city on its knees. And if you are going to blame the rain and the weather phenomenon, call it climate change, but you must also acknowledge the fact that the city has grown to such an extent that from 90 lakes, we are down to about a dozen lakes, and that's perhaps the reason why two major lakes in the city, two major tanks in the city, which is called Palle Cheruvu and Abba Cheruvu, both of them breached, and that is what led to the kind of flooding that we saw in the areas of the city, including Barkas, where you see that very frightening kind of a visual of this man getting washed away, cars piling up on each other, and cars moving at a huge pace, not because they have a driver sitting inside or running on petrol, but because they are being thrown on the streets like that, washed away just by the force of water. The only good news is rains have stopped since early hours today, but the aftermath being felt by the city. Back to you, Sonia.
Right, Uma, and you're talking about this visuals. Let's just look at what we've been reporting through the day today.
Lull in the rains in Hyderabad since last night after almost continual rains for the last 3 days, and that's one reason why several areas in Hyderabad and also the outlying areas have been inundated. Everywhere you will see scenes like this where the vehicles are in fact standing in the water. The Chief Secretary of Telangana, Somesh Kumar, has issued a warning or rather an alert to all the district administrations and the police forces, disaster response forces, revenue forces, all of them telling that they must be in continuous touch with each other and ensure that lives are saved. First of all, the people must be moved from the vulnerable areas, from the vulnerable structures, and moved to safer places. Trees have been uprooted, power outages are being reported from multiple areas, and several colonies, in fact, which are not just by the side of the river Musi, but everywhere else, which are low-lying, have all been inundated, and people are waiting for the disaster response force, which is of course overworked, to come in and clear the stormwater drain so that the water may drain out. The hospitals, which are already stretched, are going to feel the pressure of all the disease that standing water and the breeding of mosquitoes can bring in. These kind of scenes you will see in fact all across the city, where the trees which have been standing for should I say 20 years, 30 years, ever since I've seen them, and they have been uprooted and fallen on the vehicles that are on the road. This area I must describe as something that's better than most other areas. There are at least 3 other cars in fact are stuck inside here, which you cannot as of now see. But the most tragic incident of course happened in Bandlaguda, where you had boulders falling on the houses there that belongs to a particular venture, where the compound wall had those heavy boulders, which was in fact then fallen on that area, and at least 9 people died, including a 2-month-old baby. All that intense fall of rainfall happened from the evening yesterday onwards till midnight, and that in fact led to the breach of at least 2 tanks in Hyderabad. One of those tanks is in Uppal, and it's called the Nalla Cheruvu, and that is where the water is coming from. The huge force of the water, because of the breakage in that particular tank, had caused flooding in all these low-lying areas, and people were in fact evacuated from those areas and taken away to safety. Even as we are standing here, you can feel the force of the water. Very, very unfortunate visuals. The incessant rains that have been happening, that's what is leading to the loss of life, and that's something that the administration wants to avoid, and that's why they have declared a holiday in Hyderabad as well as the rest of Telangana, in fact, today as well as tomorrow. in Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Today's view, look at the tankment overflowing, view from Alpine Towers, the entire tankment is overflowing. See, you can see the park being submerged. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, even the park is totally flooded. Look at the water flowing, rushing out. The fury, terrifying, and we still have 2 more days of rain. God be with us.